Hello and welcome everybody back to the Jank Drawer. We are rounding out your broadcast week with another beautiful Football Friday. This has been quite a week for the football, which is why we're hanging out and just chatting for right now, because we're going to spend some time just chatting. Some crazy things have been happening. We're getting out to like the tail end of just kind of everything. Most seasons wrap up in May, which we are officially in May. I'm as wilded out by that as you are, I'm sure. It's crazy to me how fast time is flying, especially like on this whole venture of this. This marks now the 5th month that we've been streaming, which is a thing that I didn't know that I'd ever be doing in my life. So that's we're almost half a year in, which is wild. This marks an even closer window to when I really needed to find a job, and that we're approaching now almost a year from when I lost my job, which is another weird thing. But, you know, as we were talking about yesterday, we've got some good movement going in some good positive directions around that I'm really looking forward to. And then beyond that, it means that we were in and we were treated to some absolutely fantastic sentiments in and around the Champions League, the Europa League, and all these other things as we're approaching semifinals. And the semifinals have been very interesting, let us just say. It also means that leagues are coming to an end, and so things like the Premier League and the Liga and things like that are coming down. None of them are as closely contested as specifically the Premier League is this season, just because the Premier League is like incredibly close race to the end. Everywhere else, it's pretty much more or less decided already. Like one of the new things that popped across my feed today as a Leicester City fan, who unfortunately my team has been relegated, they're going down to League One, is that our club captain and one of our only like original players that's still around from like back when Leicester City was good, Ricardo Pereira, who is a Portuguese right back, has officially left the club as a free agent. He's just like, hey, I'm not going down to League One with you. That's not where I want to be. Please let me go. And so he's leaving, and I wish him the best of luck. I can't blame him on that. I believe that he's probably going to be the first of many people that are going to leave the club very soon, and that is just a state of being that we are going to be in. Is just rats and sinking ships and all that. You know what I'm talking about, Rat King. It's in the name. But yeah, no, it's been Monster Munter or rats leaving ships? It goes pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I woke up with like a sore throat and stuff like that, which makes me believe I might need to adjust some stuff. It's definitely, that's my sign that we're getting into the beginning of May and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, it's getting a little bit drier. I might need to crack out the humidifier or adjust some things around there so that I'm not just like sleeping all night and then waking up incredibly parched. It's like, I woke up with a sore throat, but not in the like, I feel sick, it's a sore throat way, but in the like, I've been mouth breathing all night and my entire throat is dried out. So I've been working on hydrating this morning and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Fun. I think that I, for the first time in a long time, don't have anything going on this weekend. But that's literally, it's one of the things that's annoying me in the back of my own head is I have this nagging feeling that there's something I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow, but I don't remember or know what it is. And it's driving me crazy because like, I know there's something that I need to do tomorrow. It is just like at the back of my head, but I cannot for the life of me remember. Fair enough. Oh, that's what it is. I'm going to a dance recital at 4:30 in Provo tomorrow. I'm glad that we had this conversation. Because I was like, it's been bugging me all day. It's like, I know there is something going on tomorrow. What is going on tomorrow? Why can't I remember what's going on tomorrow? And what's going on tomorrow is that my cousin is in a dance recital tomorrow, and so I'm going to her dance recital. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm just glad that it came up, though, so that I could have that question to myself so I would look this up. Because it is very much just like, I know I've got something tomorrow. What do I have going on tomorrow? And I needed to remember what I had going on. 12:30 to 2:30 is honestly pretty long. But it would get me done in time for a 4:30 dance recital in Provo. Which is not bad. Yeah, but otherwise, we're getting to the end of things here. The end of all things, football at least, for the year. And things are kind of rumbling and crumbling to a very interesting end state. The thing is I feel that may be influenced, Rat King, by the fact that I would be learning a whole bunch of new things, but also, in your experience, you go and do this every week, and are active and work out. For me, I don't think I have worked out for 2 hours consecutively in, like, maybe a decade. And so 2 hours is going to feel very long. But yeah, that is something that I want to change, though. So there's definitely a non-zero chance that I'm going to go and do something tomorrow, whether that is sword fighting or just going and, like, on a hike or something. I do want to start getting active again. Okay. But yeah, no. So we've got ourselves into a little bit of a predicament. But it is a good predicament to be in. First and foremost, I want to talk about the midweek games, because we didn't stream on Wednesday because I was sick, and so I didn't get to talk about the midweek games. But the midweek games were kind of nuts, to be 100% frank. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I would imagine it's 30-minute warm-up, hour lesson, and then if I were to be building a curriculum, it's a 30-minute sparring and cool-down. If, you know, I was just, like, throwing it at the wall of, like, this is what I think is going on. But come with me on this journey. I would be 100% correct? Knew it. It's almost like I've taught a class before. Because I have, but just not sword fighting. Awesome. So, come with me on a journey. We are going all the way back to Tuesday this week. If you were anything like me, Tuesday this week, you woke up early in the morning, you drove down to the wrong train station because I missed my turn to go to the right train station, so I had to go to a different train station. And then I went to work the entire day. And then I came home, and I felt sick, and I was sick for 2 days. If you weren't like me, you were like maybe one of the 47,511 people in Paris, France, who got to live in truly the spectacle of the ages at the Parc des Princes at Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. Now, this was an absolute barnstormer. You were not like either of those? Well, unfortunately, those are the only two things you could be. So, the other 7 billion people that weren't either of those things don't exist. But you can still be one of the lucky people that were like me, not able to watch this game live. But because I was sick Tuesday night, I watched the highlights because I was like, I don't feel well. Sick or French as a reference? Well, hey, you could be German. Since this was a French versus a German team, you were just in France. So, like, there's hope. You could be one of the few Germans that was there. So, you know, at least there's a silver lining in this. Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich was, I think, no exaggeration, one of the greatest games of attacking football ever played in the history of the world. That is to say, neither one of these defenses showed up, and they looked horrendous. But it was an attacking masterclass from both sides of just like, we are going to attack, and eventually someone is going to win this game. And that was kind of what it broke down to. This was a wild game. This is the first leg of a two-legged tie for the Champions League semifinal. Essentially, whoever wins this gets to go to, I think the Champions League is being played in Hungary. I think it's in Budapest this year, the final. If we go to the Champions League final, yeah, the final is at the Puskás Arena in Budapest, Hungary. Is it on the Buda or Pest side of the Danube? I don't know, because I can't remember what the Buda or the Pest size. Size it invertebrate? I know. Only 2 legs. But, essentially, the final 4 teams in this competition are all fighting for an opportunity to go to a lovely May 30th game in Budapest, Hungary, to play for it all, to win it all. For Paris Saint-Germain, this would be an opportunity to go back-to-back. They are the current title holders in this competition, having won it for the first time in their history last season, after the end of their halcyon days of signing all of the best players in the world regardless of fee. Now, none of those players play for them. It's a whole bunch of players that either went to other clubs and came back, or not really. I've also heard Budapest is quite lovely. One of my favorite books I've ever read took place in Budapest, but it was written by a Brazilian man who had never been to Budapest, about Budapest. And it was honestly great, but it was also one of those where it's like, this book is a trip because this guy is writing about a country and a culture that he has only ever heard stories about and done research on, but isn't his culture and is a city he's never been to. And it was really, really fun. I actually really liked it. It was a very cerebral piece. And I read it for a class I took in college. But you got PSG trying to do that. You've got Bayern, who are trying to recapture the love and the attention of the world from the last time that they won the Champions League, which was, honestly, when was the last time Bayern won a Champions League? I can't even remember. Bayern Munich history. Champions League. They've won the Champions League 6 times, the most recent of which was 2020. They're on a record season this year under Vincent Kompany. There's an absolutely incredible run through the Bundesliga, record-breaking. If there's a team that deserves to win this, it's this team, but I don't know that they will win it. And then on the other side of the bracket, we'll talk about that later, is Atletico Madrid and Arsenal. PSG FC Bayern Munich, though, is like the game to end all games, essentially. Like, this was ridiculous how good this game was. Almost immediately, this came forward as it was going to be a game where neither team decided that they were going to play any defense. If we look at the sides on this, and you look at like the ratings, all 6 attacking players for Paris Saint-Germain had a minimum of a 7.0. Like, they were just fantastic. The 3 main attacking players for Bayern Munich also had they had a minimum 8.2 between Olise, Luis Diaz, and Harry Kane. All 3 of the center backs and the goalkeeper Safonov for Paris Saint-Germain had like a 5.7 to a 6.5, and all of the defensive players for Bayern Munich had a 6.1 or a 6.6 or lower, with the exception of Neuer, who had a 4.1, which was the worst rating in the entire game. And it was entirely because No one was playing any defense at any point in time ever, and I don't think that they knew how to be 100% frankly honest. It was a ludicrous game to watch, an incredible result, and it started with none other than Harry Kane. In the 17th minute of this game, Bayern Munich has been able to be attacking. They're driving. They're getting the ball in, and a ball is played into the box by Bayern Munich. If I remember correctly, I think this is... I'm trying to conflate... There's a lot of penalties this week, and I'm trying to not conflate the penalties around, because a lot of these happen for a lot of different reasons. Yes, most kings are historically probably very hairy, but this is Harry Kane. Kane. This was it. Yeah, so Olise plays in Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looks like he's going to Harry Kaning. There you go. Thank you for the sub, Sam Jemex. It means a lot. Not King, Kane. Harry Kaning. They play in Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looks like he's going to score on an open net. And then Pacho just comes in out of nowhere and just demolishes him. Like, this is not even like... we're going to have a different conversation about the other game that happened in this midweek between Atletico Madrid and Arsenal, because that game was all about the penalties and whether those penalties were penalties or not. This one, there was no doubt. Like, Pacho 100% demolishes this man, stands up and is like, yeah, that's on me. Like, there was no denying that this was a penalty. And that is how the scoring started. It was the 17th minute. Harry Kane is given a penalty, and he's going to do what Harry Kane does when he's given a penalty, and that is converted immediately. And then Bayern opens the scoring in the 17th minute. It's 1-0 Bayern Munich in the Parc de France in Paris. So already off to a bad start for the Parisians. Paris Saint-Germain really wants to get out of this with a win, especially at home. This is, and you're already kind of seeing at this point, because this is all counterattacking, just back, forth, up until this point. And you're kind of getting the vibe that comes out to be true of just like, these are two teams that know that they are so lethal going forward that it's basically they decided like, hey, neither one of us are really known for being good defensively. So this game isn't going to be decided by the defenders. It is going to be decided by the fact that we are going to just try to outscore our opponent, and we're going to race to the bottom here of just like, how many insane goals can we score? And the penalty was just a penalty. That's not an insane goal. But the insane goal scoring started with the literal next goal, which was 7 minutes later. PSG strikes back. None other than Georgian phenom Kvichka Kvaratskhelia. Kvara has already been all over the place up in this game. He has been putting balls into the box. He's been just killing people down the left-hand side of the Paris Saint-Germain attack. Like, he has just been throughout this, like, honestly, throughout the Champions League, Kvichka Kvaratskhelia has been, like, maybe the best player at Paris Saint-Germain, and I don't think it's close. He's just been electric. And this was none other than one of those things. Kvichka Kvaratskhelia just absolute tech on the ball, glides past the entire defense down the left-hand side, cuts it into the box, glides past two more defenders, and then just curls it into the bottom right-hand corner. And Neuer, full stretch, nowhere near it, buries it in the far corner and just wheels off. And at no point watching the highlight of this did it look to me like there was any other eventuality than Kvichka Kvaratskhelia scoring this goal. Like, it was literally, I saw the highlight pop up and I was like, oh, this is a goal for Kvaratskhelia. Like, there's no way this isn't. And it's just him dribbling and running past people until he gets into the corner. And then he's like, oh, I can't do anything from the corner. Cuts it back, dribbles past them again, gets into the box. And he's like, I've got like 5 feet between me and 3 defenders. Let me just roll this one around them all, put a whole bunch of curve on this ball, and bury it. And it's just ridiculous. Like, it's so crazy. We have a quote from Alan Shearer, who is a former Newcastle phenom. His direct quote after watching the Kvaratskhelia goal is, "I'm just smiling. The ridiculous talent on this pitch, and Kvaratskhelia one of them. There's no other thought than to cut inside and stick that in the far corner. Superb. It was never going to disappoint this game, was it?" It was the best day for him. It was just ridiculous. He had an insane game. But this is like, already now we're 24 minutes into this game, and this is a game that prior to it, like, all the commentary was talking about was like, this is going to be one for the ages. There was only two ways this game was going to go. It was either going to be absolutely ridiculous goal-scoring phenom, or it's going to be the most boring game you've ever seen in your life. But these are not two teams that can play boring games. That's the other two teams that are playing in the other semifinal that we're going to talk about in a minute. And so, like, there was literally, like, they were doing interviews and, like, doing all the punditry before, and people were taking a guess as to what they thought the final score of this game was going to be. And it ranged anywhere from, like, people being like, it's going to be like a 2-1, whatever, like, totally normal score, to, like, Peter Schmeichel being like, if the goalkeepers don't show up, this is going to be an 8-8. And, like, the most accurate was Thierry Henry, who is, like, known for, he's French, and so he usually, like, leans towards French sides, but he played for Bayern Munich, and so he's just like, his guess was this was going to be a 4-4 draw, PSG versus Bayern. He's not that far off, but already after this second goal, everyone's like, there's no way this isn't going to be one of the best games of all time. Like, especially if you're here to watch attacking soccer, like, just the amount of players on this pitch that can just dribble through 7 guys and then bury a goal in the back of the net is too high. There's at least, like, 6 of them on either team, and they all just did crazy stuff the entire time. So that immediately gets us up. Assist for that goal goes to Desiree Doué, who set Kvaratskhelia on his way with a short pass in the Bayern half. This is not the first time. This is the first time we're going to hear Desiree Doué's name in this game. It is not the last time we're going to hear Desiree Doué's name. The 20-year-old French international, product of the youth academy at Paris Saint-Germain, like, this was a statement game for Desiree Doué in his chance creation. This also means that this was Kvaratskelia's 14th Champions League goal that season. 9th goal, 5th. He has 5 assists, which is tied for the most goal involvements in a single campaign in the competition for Paris Saint-Germain, tied with Dembele last year when they won it, who did 8 goals and 6 assists. And so this is Paris Saint-Germain at home. Absolutely incredible. Just like the roof was coming off the Parc des Princes. And then if you thought that was good enough, they lose it in the second one. So 33rd minute now. We've had like 9 minutes of back and forth, up and down, just really end-to-end soccer. And it finally calms down for a little bit in that Paris Saint-Germain gets... I muted myself. Great. So, we're talking about this second goal. This second goal... I think I just grazed it, and because I grazed it, it muted itself. Really, at some point, I should just flip it so that I can't mute it accidentally. But so we're getting to the second goal. Paris Saint-Germain set up for a corner, and then their striker is the one taking it. They've got all the big men up. They've got all the center backs, all the people that are trying to get there. And in a move that is very Dani Carvajal-esque from 2024 Champions League final, where Dani Carvajal, the shortest man alive, scored a corner goal to win the Champions League for Real Madrid. The ball comes in, it misses all of these super tall freaks of nature, because that's what you got to be a professional athlete, and none other than João Neves. João Neves, the 21-year-old Portuguese midfielder, who has been phenomenal. Like, he's one of the best players in the world. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch at the World Cup this year for Portugal. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Paris Saint-Germain ever since he joined the team in 2024 after he left Benfica. But he is 5'9". I'm not a tall man. I am 2 inches taller than João Neves. João Neves, who is, I think, unmistakably the shortest man on the pitch in this game, and I don't think it's close, is the first one to get his head to this ball, and then he hits a textbook, picture-perfect, like, striker's header to just glance this in, far post, driven low and fast towards the ground, buries it, and you can see the reaction. Like, even he doesn't believe what he has just done. He is stunned. He wheels out of there. He's losing his mind. The Parc des Princes is losing its mind because they're now up 2-1. Like, this is exactly what they want to see. They're just all going crazy. And it's very much just like, what just happened? What just happened? How did we just see this? Did we just see the shortest man on this pitch win a header off a corner kick and bury it? And the answer is yes. And this may or may not contribute to the fact that Manuel Neuer got a 4.1, because it's also just like, as a goalkeeper, how are you letting the short person that is at your front post be the guy that beats you on this header? Like, you come out and claim those, and he didn't, and he got punished for it. And Dembele is going and freaks it, but it's also just like, once again, Alan Shearer, we have another beautiful quote. We've just seen the threat they pose from open play. Now this is from set pieces too. He must be the smallest guy on the pitch, but with the pace and precision of the delivery, João Neves is impossible to pick up. What a reaction going 1-0 down. And that is honestly it. They go down 1-0 in the 17th minute, and then in the next 17 minutes, they score 2 goals. Kvaratskhelia with a great solo effort, and then the shortest of short king headers from João Neves. It's insane. It's ridiculous. And Bayern are not out of this. Literally 4 minutes later, huge highlight for Bayern. They almost get something. Then it's also Paris Saint-Germain almost gets it again until we get to the 41st minute. And Michael Olise scores one of the best goals I've ever seen. Very reminiscent to the Ryan Cherki goal from the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago, where like Michael Olise just picks this ball up from Pavlovic in the middle of the like Paris Saint-Germain half, and then just really short touches, dribbles through like 5 guys, drifts towards the edge of the box, and then just the second he's in the box and has any space, whips the ball in, buries it in the center of the goal. You are being very, very funny, and I do love that, Rat King. But I also wish we had more people that could see how funny you are. But yeah, no, like Olise, just like this is one of those where it's like literally one of the reasons. Since I text my dad about a lot of these games all of the time, and since he's the guy that I talk football with the most. And after this game was over, I literally let me see this. Instead of an Alan Shearer quote, we can have a Sam texting my dad quote. Of literally my exact quote to my dad about this game when I was like, hey, you need to watch this, is you should watch the Bayern PSG highlights. I know you hate French football, but I think you're going to love the Michael Olise goal. Because this is a conversation that he and I have all of the time of like one of his favorite players in the world right now is Ryan Cherki, because my dad really likes players that are really good with their feet and like have really good technical skill on the ball and can just like dribble and play. Like he loves the jogo bonito, the very classically Brazilian way to play soccer of just like quick touches, you're beating your man. It's very sexy. It's really pretty to look at. And like a lot of people don't do that anymore. Ryan Cherki is one of the best in the world at it. One of the other best of the world is Michael Olise at doing specifically this type of very beautiful, very great, just like technical skill level of football. The other thing that you need to know about my dad is that there is no greater hater of French football than my father. And so what really sucks is that like two of the best players in the world at doing this thing that he thinks is the like peak athleticism and best way to play the sport that we both love are two young French attacking midfielders, because he's just like, there's nothing my dad would hate more than having to root for France, but two of his favorite players in the world play for France. And he hates it. Oh, well, he also really hates Italian football too, but like that's another thing. That's entirely because he thinks the Italian team is historically very, very dirty when they play, and that they robbed the U.S. from making a quarterfinal in the 2006 World Cup. But yeah, he has a lot of gripes to play about specifically French football, and like really only French football, and other than like the Italians. But the Italians, it's less about like who they are and what they. It's less about like who they are and what they are. And it's more about like how they play. So it's like objectively, the French national team plays beautiful soccer. It plays the type of soccer that my dad would love. He just hates the French team for doing it. If it was like, it's not that they do it weird. It's that like quite literally they are just. They have a national history of being extremely defensive and very, very physical, but not in like a fair and balanced way. Since like physicality is fine in soccer, it's the like we're cheap shotting you, we're killing momentum, we're playing anti-football. That's the reason that he doesn't necessarily like French ones. But that's the first two goals for each team. And so at this point, we're in the 41st minute of a 90-minute game, and we have 4 goals. And you'd be, you'd be forgiven for thinking that that's where this ends, because that's a lot of goals for a first half. And then in the 47th minute, the 45th minute plus 2, since we're in stoppage time now, penalty is blown, and VAR checking for a penalty in the box. This is now the second penalty of the game. The penalty check is blown. It's once again from a corner kick coming in. Bayern doesn't fully clear the corner kick. They're applying more pressure on the deep-lying Bayern defense. Dembele tries to cross it back in, and then Davies is trying to block it, and it hits him in the leg and bounces to his arm and then hits the ground. And so it's very much of just like, do we have to give a handball? Do we not? Because like technically it hits him like directly in the hand. Like there's no denying that the ball hits Alphonso Davies' hand. That's just a reality. It's a fact of life. Where it all falls apart is it's like it only hit it because it deflected off of his leg. And so like his hand wasn't in like a resting position, but it was in like a not a normal position. They have to do a whole bunch of checking on it. They look at it for like a minute and a half, and the review is that it is a penalty. It wasn't called a penalty on the pitch, but after reviewing the footage enough, the ref changes his mind. Because that Bayern is in arms about this. They are losing their minds. Paris Saint-Germain is like, hey, we now have a chance to get a whole bunch of momentum and regain the lead by halftime. None other than Ousmane Dembele steps up for it, and he just buries it. It's just as good as Harry Kane's penalty to start the half. The half is ended and bookmarked almost poetically by an Ousmane Dembele PSG penalty kick. He just absolutely demolishes Neuer. And then the second that goes in, they do the kickoff, whistle is called, we go into the halftime. And it's already been just an insane first half. Remarkable half of football, 3-2 going into halftime. And the team that scored first is now coming into the half with a 1-goal deficit. They are now down 3-2. We then kick off again into the second half. 6 minutes into the second half, there is another penalty check. This one they didn't call a penalty on, which is nice. And then in the 56th minute, none other than Kvaratskhelia scores his second goal of the game. This goal was wild. Because this one is that essentially a really well-worked goal by the team as Vitinha, the Portuguese midfielder, starts the play from really deep and just pings this high lofted ball out towards the right side corner flag that ends up at the feet of Achraf Hakimi, and Hakimi is just like flying down the line to get there for it. And he gets there, and he does a very classical, just like he gets into the corner, and he just cuts it back, and there are two players, both Desiree Doué and Ousmane Dembele, running for this ball in the middle of the box. Just like full sprint, running at it. They are going to run into each other. And they are both getting marked by Upamecano, who is the Bayern center back that is marking this particular play. And so all three of those players are running for the same cross, and they all run into each other, and the ball goes straight through all of them, and they are all now sprawled out on the ground in the box. But they pulled so much attention that Kvaratskhelia, on the far end of the box with the late trailing run, is wide open, right in front, like right inside the 18-yard box, with a ball coming into him, and he just one-times it, and just demolishes it into the back of the net. Just an incredible right-footed shot. Just absolutely kills this ball. And it was one of those, like, literally I watched this and just started laughing. Because I was like, it's a beautiful step over from Dembele, of like, Dembele is purposely losing this, but he also just gets absolutely demolished by his own guy and Upamecano. They're all running, and so because there's 2-on-1, the other Bayern center back gets pulled into this. No one picks up Kvaratskhelia. Neuer bites on it really hard too. Like, everyone bites on this ball, and they're like, oh, either one of these two forwards is going to get on it. And no one picks up maybe one of the best players in the world with the late run into the box. No one thinks it's going to make it to him. It makes it to him, and the second it's there, it's in the back of the net. And you're like, oh yeah, of course. Kvaratskhelia never misses that. But also, what in the world did I just watch? And so, assist to Hakimi, beautiful goal from Kvaratskhelia. And that is the 56th minute. So now we're looking at a 4-2, PSG versus Bayern, which is great. And you're like, hey, PSG took all the momentum into halftime with them, and now they have all the momentum in the second half. This is great. This is going to be a fun game. I can't wait for the Bayern response. And that would be a good thing, because it's been a lot of back and forth of like, oh, Paris Saint-Germain scores 2 goals, Bayern scores another goal. Here, they've now scored 2 goals. It's time for a Bayern goal. I'm all strapped in, ready to go. 4-3, here we come. No. 2 minutes later, 2 minutes, Dembele, in the 56th minute of this game now, scores his second goal of the game. He gets the ball played through to him from Desiree Doué, who gets the, like, they win the ball back in their half. The ball is played out to Desiree Doué down the middle and like towards the right. He cuts back towards the middle with it. Ousmane Dembele comes from behind him, overlaps him onto the left. He plays in Ousmane Dembele. Dembele runs into the box, cuts across onto his right foot, and then just buries it. It's just a beautiful goal. Played in by Doué. Just within 2 minutes, they've scored 2 goals. They're up 5-2. It's ridiculous. Parc des Princes at this point feels like it's going to explode. There's just so much cheering. It's beautiful. Brace for Kvaratskhelia, brace for Dembele. This has already been one of the greatest games ever. Some substitutions are made. Fabian Ruiz comes on, Zaire Emery comes off. And then in the 65th minute, Bayern finally answers back. And now it's Bayern's turn to score. We've had both teams score from a penalty. Now we have both teams score from a corner. The ball is put into the box. Well, it's a set piece. It's not a corner. It's a 30-foot, it's like a 30-yard out free kick. Joshua Kimmich puts the ball into the box. Dayot Upamecano rises up at the back post, and in maybe one of the worst headers I've ever seen. If the João Neves corner goal was one of the best headers by a small person I've ever seen in my life, the Dayot Upamecano goal is one of the worst headers by a tall person I've ever seen in my life. In that, like, he barely gets there. But he gets there, and he just heads it directly into the ground, and it goes underneath the arms of Safonov and into the goal. And he loses his mind. It's his first goal In the Champions League, he's absolutely loving it. There is a big question mark of like, why is no one marking Dayot Upamecano? Because like he is completely unmarked going for this ball, but he gets it. Now we're at 3-5, and then in the 68th minute, once again, if PSG can do back-to-back quick-fire goals, so can Bayern Munich. 68th minute is the last goal of this game, as a huge long ball is played in by Harry Kane into Luis Diaz, who brings the ball down in the box, beats his man, and then just shoots it. And it just looks like it's the easiest thing he's ever done. That gets us to 5-4, an assist and a goal in the game for Harry Kane, a goal for Luis Diaz. And it was just beautiful to watch, but it really, the idea here is that none of the teams brought their defense. They only brought their offense, and it was just a shootout. And now we have a chance to have another version of this game this upcoming week on Wednesday in Munich. It's like Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern now have to play next week in Munich. They're playing Wednesday, 11 a.m. at the Allianz Arena. And, like, truly anything could happen. Like, truly anything. There's no idea how or what this could turn out. If you thought that it was going to shoot out in the Parc des Princes, it's going to be another one in the Allianz. And it's going to be ridiculous. Truly football heritage, an instant classic. We've had a lot of those this season, whether it's the Real Madrids, the Barcelona versus Atalanta, Galatasaray Juventus, Barcelona and Newcastle, Atletico Madrid Tottenham. Like, there's been a lot of really good games in this Champions League. The whole Bodo Glimt storyline has been fantastic. But this one was maybe one of the games of the tournament. It was ridiculous. Unfortunately, the other midweek game in the Champions League was Atletico Madrid Arsenal, and this was the antithesis of the Bayern PSG game. And that's kind of what was brought up into this, is that this is Diego Simeone and his Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal underneath Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta has had a really interesting trajectory as a manager, in that when he started as the manager of Arsenal about 10 years ago, he had just finished being the assistant manager to Pep Guardiola for a very long time. And in the very Pep Guardiola style, he played a very, like, controlling but a very expressive attacking game. And it was like, essentially, they were playing Man City football, but they weren't Man City, and he was hiring a lot of Man City players and bringing in a whole bunch of Man City backroom staff to try and be like, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to try and do, blah, blah, blah. And over time, we've seen him tactically evolve into much more of a, like, I've got my set system, we're playing to control and kill out games, we're going to win off of set pieces, we don't generate out of open play, we instead are just, like, controlling and constricting a game and playing a whole bunch of anti-football, which is what Diego Simeone has done for the past 15 years at Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone is world-renowned as being one of the best performing defensive coaches ever. He has been at Atletico Madrid since December of 2011. One of the longest appointed coaching jobs ever, at least in the current game. He has been there for 15 years, and in those 15 years at Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone has a 59% win percentage in a little over 800, a little under 800 matches. He has coached 794 matches for Atletico Madrid, and he has won almost 60% of them. He averages 2 points in all competitions, which is a ridiculous fact. And the thing is he has done that by being the most defensively minded coach in modern football. He has never been very big on attacking. He has historically all been about, I'm playing my 4-4-2. We are controlling the game. We are absorbing pressure. We are hitting back on the counter. And that is what we do. That is our identity as Atletico Madrid. And in doing that, Atletico Madrid have won La Liga in that time twice. They've won the Europa League twice. They've won the Copa del Rey. They're on track to potentially win. I don't think they won the Copa del Rey this year. I think they were on track to do really well in the Copa del Rey. But then they, I think, lost it to Sociedad. Yeah, in the final, but they lost on penalties. So like they almost won the Copa del Rey this year, but they lost on penalties to Real Sociedad. It's just like he's very much known for that, and that's been his history for like 15 years. As Diego Simeone is like, I play very much anti-football. We control possession. We control the game. He who controls the game controls the world. And with that control, we're gonna just keep everyone all together and kill off any momentum from our opponents and strangle them to death, and then win 1-0 or whatever. And very recently, the talk in and around international competition and La Liga competition is that in the past year or so, essentially since they got Julian Alvarez, it's like a switch has been flipped, and Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid have become attacking powerhouses. They are going forward. They are scoring goals. They are winning games by just outscoring people. They eliminated Barcelona from the Champions League by outscoring Barcelona 3-2 over two legs. They ran up the score against Tottenham Hotspur. Very famously, they have become, like, all of a sudden, they aren't playing defense anymore. They are attacking, and they are exciting, and they are just, like, really showing off, like, oh, hey, you thought we were this way? We are, in fact, this way, and we are going to punish you for underestimating us. Another really big part of that is, like, honestly, contention for signing the season. They signed Ademola Lookman out of... they're still attacking out of a 4-4-2. Like, I don't know that he knows how... I don't know that Diego Simeone knows how to coach anything other than a 4-4-2, but they're still attacking out of a 4-4-2. They are just, like, they put... Currently, right now, they're leading with Alvarez and Griezmann up front, which is also wild because it's, like, the people that he's doing this with on his team is Antoine Griezmann, who's 35, and his captain Koke, who's 34. Like, this isn't a young team. This is just a team that, like, knows what they're doing. He has a really good goalkeeper in Jan Oblak. And then they're just like, we're going to play this 4-4-2, and we're going to just sort of ram the ball down your throat. And that's most of what they do. And it's been really interesting to watch. When they're not playing Griezmann, they're playing Alexander Sarloth, who's a 30-year-old Norwegian striker, who's also just like he's your stereotypical number 9 target forward, but he's really, really good at it. And he's had an insane season in the Champions League. Atletico Madrid at this point has scored 56 goals this season. They've scored 56 goals in La Liga, which is still not a ton for La Liga. I mean, but they're also comparing them against, like, Barcelona and Real Madrid. But yeah, Sorloth has 12 goals. Griezmann has 7. It's ridiculous. Like, they're just have become, all of a sudden, they know how to attack. And so it's been this interesting, like, philosophical swap, essentially, leading up to this game is the main talking point of just, like, Arsenal is playing more like Diego Simeone than anyone other than Diego Simeone has played in years. And for some reason, Diego Simeone now, after 15 years at Atletico Madrid, has been like, hey, you know what's really fun? Scoring a whole bunch of goals. And is playing way more like early Mikel Arteta and, like, the Pep Guardiola style of play than ever before. And so it's like, what's going on? These two teams have completely swapped at every level, to the point that the stats of this game bear out in a very interesting way. Of, like, this was not an interesting game to watch. The main thing that is going to be the talking point about this game kind of forever is the fact that there were 2 goals scored, 1 for each side, both of which were penalties, and then there was a third potential penalty that was not called. And the forever thing that will haunt this specific league, this specific game at the Metropolitano, was the officiating and whether these should have been penalties, whether these shouldn't have been penalties. Yeah, it was wild. But that was the game. And so the game was decided by Gyökeres scoring a penalty in the 44th minute, and then Alvarez equalizing in the 56th minute with a penalty of his own for Atletico Madrid. I don't want to comment on those because I don't want to get a fight about this. If you want to watch people get in a fight about this, the midweek Tifo football podcast episode is primarily about this, and primarily about whether these were penalties or not, or whether they should have been called for penalties, or whether the third penalty that wasn't called should have been called. There's a whole bunch going into this. But it is a wild game nonetheless, and it is very much the game that, it's not the game that anyone wanted, but it is the game that these two teams deserved based on how they're playing. Just like a 90-minute 1-1 draw where the numbers of this game are really interesting in that, like, Atletico Madrid at home at the Metropolitano managed to have 52% possession. They had an XG of 2.2. They had 18 shots on goal and 3 big chances. And like a full 1 of that XG is the penalty. So they had 1.2 essentially non-penalty XG from open play, which is like, that's the tale of what this game was. If Atletico Madrid were attacking this entire game, like they were like, hey, we're gonna attack. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna try and make things happen from open play. And on the other side, Arsenal, who were the away team in this, had an expected goals of there you go. Appreciate it. I will say, defending myself from the comments in the chat, I did not lie and say that you were a fan of French football. I said that while 2 of your favorite players in the game right now are French, you do hate French football. But Arsenal, they got a 48% possession, an XG of 1.51, which means they really only had 0.5 XG from open play. They took 11 total shots and had 2 big chances. Of just like, they played a much more defensively, like, hey, we're going to sit back and defend and do nothing. Well, Atletico was like, we're just going to attack you forever. We're just going to attack, and hope that we can get through. And Arsenal was just like, hey, we're not going to let you attack us. Well, we're going to let you attack us. We're just not going to let you score. And it was honestly a pretty boring game, which is unfortunate. But it is an existential crisis. See, there may not be bias in this chat, but it seems there is definitely lies and deceit. But essentially, it puts us into a really interesting predicament of, like, this week coming up, we've got 2 more games in this leg before we get to our final on the 30th. And that is going to be Arsenal at home to Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, which, like, I genuinely hope is a good game. Because, like, these are 2 teams that it's like, Arsenal had such an incredible run through the league phase that it's like, we know this can be a fun team to watch. They were a fun team to watch earlier this year. And then Atletico Madrid has just been like, they are now a really fun team to watch. They have, in the past, like, 3 rounds of getting to qualification, they scored 7 goals versus Club Brugge, they scored 7 goals versus Tottenham, and then they outscored Barcelona 3-2. It is certainly you, humble king of rats. You are lying and deceiving. It's, you know, the thing is, it's not like this isn't recorded or something. I do have this on tape. I can play it back and be like, hey, I never once said this libelous claim. And, like, hopefully they give us a good game. I don't have high hopes that they're going to give us a good game, but they have the potential to. Whereas on the other side, Wednesday, who knows what's going to happen? Bayern versus PSG could go any different ways, but it's going to be ridiculous no matter what. It's going to be wild. And so I'm really looking forward to both of those. In other European news, we are also in a similar spot for the other two major European competitions, Europa League and Europa Conference League. Europa League has a very interesting situation currently brewing, which is that in the Europa League right now, in their semifinal, two English teams are playing each other, which is Nottingham Forest versus Villa, and then the other side of that bracket is the Portuguese side Braga versus the German side Freiburg. And so Braga has had a very good season up to this point. They now are going to go into their league after their game on Thursday to their second leg with a 2-1 lead. Goals in that game from Demir Tinkaz, the Turkish center midfielder, and Mario Dorgeles from the Côte d'Ivoire. And then Freiburg getting their lone goal from Vincenzo Grifo, the Italian left winger. But in more exciting news, this is a bottom of the table, top of the table clash in the Europa League for Nottingham Forest Aston Villa. And this Thursday, in their home leg of this two-legged tie, Nottingham Forest won. They got a 1-0 victory over Villa in what was admittedly a very close game. Completely even possession statistics, 50-50. The differentiator being literally 11 shots to 10 shots, 2 shots, 2 big chances to 1 big chances. The only decider being that Chris Wood got a penalty in the 71st minute and converted it. And that is the lone decider between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. They will play again this week at Villa in the second leg of that tie to try and earn their spot in the final. Conference League also is in a very interesting spot because Conference League is, of course, the newest but the third tier of these competitions, and we haven't followed it a lot, but essentially the Conference League mainly exists so that a whole bunch of teams from a whole bunch of leagues you've never heard of can attempt to have a chance to win European hardware. And a lot of teams you're never going to heard of from a lot of competitions get there, and inevitably someone from the top 5 leagues in Europe wins it. Currently, at this point, we only have one team still in the competition at the semifinal stage that is not from a top 5 league in Europe. But your finalists are Rayo Vallecano from La Liga, Strasbourg from the French League, which is the feeder club for Chelsea, and then Shakhtar Donetsk out of the Ukrainian League, and Crystal Palace. And in those first legs, Rayo Vallecano has a lead at this point of 1-0 over Strasbourg. They won their game at home at the Estadio de Vallecas. Their goal coming from their Brazilian striker, Almão. They're crazy that they have a Brazilian striker named German. And then Crystal Palace were able to steal the points away at Shakhtar Donetsk. This game, I think, is still not being played in Ukraine. This one was played as I suspected. Most Ukrainian games are being played just like the Ukrainian League in Poland. This one was played in Krakow. But Crystal Palace were able to win this game 3-1. Goals coming from Sar, Kamada, and Strand Larsen for Crystal Palace. And then the lone goal for Shakhtar Donetsk coming from Oleg Ocherechko. This was a game that Crystal Palace won with 29% possession and an XG of 2.2. They were counterattacking the entire time, and it shows, and they did it efficiently. To be fair, their first goal was Ismail Yassar in the literal first minute of the game. Let's see. Commentary, when did he actually score? Since first minute means it happened anywhere before minute 1. He scored within the first 30 seconds of the game. It's literally, they kick us off. Kickoff happens in the first minute. And then Pino and Sar combine nicely on the edge of Shakhtar's box, and then Sar threatens, Pino threads a pass through to Sar, who runs it on goal before sweeping a clinical effort into the bottom corner. No, Mateta is the assister. So yeah, scores within 30 seconds. Insanity. But yeah, so like those are some big games going on. We got a lot of other big games going on, but getting into the weekend, some things to look forward to. first and foremost, we had a game that was being played as we were recording. That game is now over, and that was Leeds versus Burnley. Leeds are looking to try and finish as high as possible so that they don't get relegated. Burnley are relegated at this point. I do not think that there is any mathematical universe in which Burnley, in their last 3 games, can catch Tottenham Hotspur. So much like Wolverhampton Wanderers, Burnley is going back down to the Championship. They fought valiantly, but they are finishing on not a lot of points for this season. And it is mathematically impossible for them to stay up. Tomorrow, though, we have a whole bunch of games coming on. My Leicester Foxes are going to be facing Blackburn. They are probably not going to win that game. They are mathematically also already eliminated from their competition and cannot go up. And already people are jumping ship, so not a great look. Wrexham are playing Middlesbrough in a very important match for playoff competitions and potential promotion. Wrexham need to win that one. Currently in the table, Wrexham are in 6th and Middlesbrough are in 4th. Wrexham only in 6th on their goal differential as they were tied on points with Hull City. They just have one more goal differential than Hull City does. They cannot catch Middlesbrough in this game. Middlesbrough are 2 positions ahead of them and 9 points ahead of them in the table. But it is very important to them that they can win this game to be able to maintain holding on to that 6th place spot, which is the last spot in the promotion playoffs. If they are able to hold on to that spot for the last 3 games of this season, not even the last 3 games, I think it's the last game of the season, since they've already played 45 of their 46 games this season. So this is the last game of the season. If they hold on to it, and they don't get outscored by Hull City, who are playing Norwich, who are in 9th, Wrexham will be in, and they will be playing for the playoffs to get promoted to the Premier League against Millwall, and then whoever wins between Millwall and Wrexham will have to play the winner of Middlesbrough and Southampton, and then the winner of that game will be promoted to the Premier League. So, like, huge for the Dragons. This is a very big game for them tomorrow at 5:30 against a very good Middlesbrough team underneath Kim Hellberg that has been performing very well this season. Sarmiento is currently at that Middlesbrough team. In other news, Serie A are coming to an end here soon. They have 4 games left, and unless Inter loses every single game, they cannot be caught. So that looks pretty tied up for there. The team that can catch them is Napoli, and Napoli are playing Como tomorrow. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich has already won it, so now they're just doing victory laps. La Liga, similarly to Bayern, Barcelona at this point has a 11-point lead over Real Madrid with 5 games left to play. So they can get caught, but it is highly unlikely that they will. So that's much more like Juventus, like Inter, than it is like that. And then Premier League, tomorrow's games are Brentford, West Ham. That is a must-win game for West Ham if they want to continue staying above Tottenham in the relegation battle. Newcastle versus Brighton, Wolves versus Sunderland, and then Arsenal versus Fulham. One of the crazy pieces of news that I heard this week floating around is that apparently the Sunderland manager, Régis Le Bris, is under threat that if he doesn't get Sunderland into Europe this season, he's going to lose his job. Which is a wild statement. That is, I need people to remember, Sunderland got promoted from the Championship this season. This is their first season back in the Premier League since the early 2000s. They have been through it. It has been a while, and Régis Le Bris is the manager that got them promoted and then has now massively overperformed in the Premier League. To the point that Sunderland find themselves going into this match week in 12th, and they are only 3 points out of Europe because Bournemouth are currently in the last European spot, which is 7th to get into the Conference League, and they are on 49 points. But that's a wild statement for the Sunderland board to be making of hey, if you don't get us into Europe in your literal first competition season in the Premier League, where really truly the only reasonable expectation is don't get relegated, we're gonna fire you? Excuse me, what? And like, to be fair, they are in with a shout. Like, the people they're competing for that spot with are Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brentford, Fulham, and Everton. Which, like, Chelsea are in downfall. Bournemouth are doing really well, but they do know Iriola's leaving. Brentford are doing fine, but they did just lose to Manchester United. Fulham started very strong and have now kind of tempered. They have won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. Chelsea are in absolute freefall. They have lost 5 of their last 5 games. Brentford have drawn 4 of their last 5 and lost their last game. So, like, as far as form is concerned, other than Bournemouth, the team in best form is Sunderland in that race. The team really in best form in that race, because only 1 point ahead of them in 6th, is Brighton. Who have won 4 of their last 5 games and play a dwindling Newcastle side that have lost 4 of their last 5 games this weekend. But, like, it's going to be a wild one. And then our last game of the match week tomorrow is Arsenal-Fulham, which is, like, a must-win for Arsenal, because every game is a must-win for Arsenal, because City are hot on their heels. But Fulham also are just like, hey, we are dangerous. They're at least fun to watch, which I can't say the same about Arsenal right now. And then Sunday sees... I was hoping a big game in Serie A. It's not. It's Inter versus Parma. Inter should win that every single day. There's a Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Borussia Dortmund game in Germany that'll be fun. Real Madrid are playing Espanyol. Let's see if this can be the latest mid-table team in La Liga to beat Real Madrid, because that seems to be what's happening in Real Madrid right now. And then our Premier League games are Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, United versus Liverpool, and Villa versus Tottenham, which is very big implications for the top 3 race, in that Manchester United will be desperate to beat Liverpool so they can hold on to their spot in the top 3 in the league. Villa would also like to contend for that spot now, though, as they have fallen into 5th and are tied on points with Liverpool. Both of those teams are only 3 points behind Manchester United, who are in 3rd on 61 points. 4th and 5th, Liverpool and Villa, are both on 58. But also, that's a Villa team versus a Tottenham Hotspur team that have won a game! Last week, we didn't even talk about this because we didn't talk on Wednesday. The other huge news that happened last week, Tottenham Hotspur has won a game in the big 2-6. It took them until April, like the last week of April. But in the last weekend of April, they won their first game. They finally did it. Tottenham Hotspur got a 1-0 victory against none other than the worst team in the league, Wolverhampton Wanderers. It took them a while, and it wasn't pretty, but they got a 1-0 victory against Wolves. And you would think, based off of how hard they were celebrating, that they won a cup. No, they just finally won a game, singular, and they were able to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. This puts them still 2 points behind West Ham United, so they are needing to win. They have to win, and they need West Ham to drop points to be able to catch them at all, to not get relegated. But it's looking a little less bleak. Admittedly, they are playing Villa, which not great for them. Not an ideal situation of just like, this is a Villa team that did just lose to Nottingham Forest in the midweek, is going to want to get a win. They're currently in 5th place, which is one of the Champions League places. They're going to want to hold on to there. They're not really in any risk of dropping out of the Champions League places, because Brighton is 8 points behind them. And so Brighton would have to win out and Villa would have to lose out for that to happen. But it is a big game. So there's a lot of things riding on this Villa Tottenham game. There's a lot riding on the Manchester United Liverpool game. And then Monday is going to see Chelsea versus Forest. It's truly a bottom of the barrel matchup. Chelsea in free fall after firing Liam Rossignol. Still no news on who the long-term Chelsea manager is going to be. And then Everton play Man City. on Monday. Man City back to having a game in hand over Arsenal, but they are 3 points behind, so that is a must-win game for City, but also it doesn't look like a game necessarily that City are in any danger of losing. So, got that going on for them. And that's really what we have to look forward to. Honestly, the thing I am most looking forward to is, as I started our conversation on, the Champions League games next week. And it's going to be, we're going to be live during the Champions League game next Wednesday. And we are for sure going to be talking about it. It's going to be the only thing worth talking about. It's going to be fantastic. To just watch what happens in that PSG Bayern game in Bayern. And I know I am going to be glued to it. But that's your Football Friday catch up. A little bit longer than usual, mainly because we had some crazy things happen in the world of sports, but also because we weren't able to talk about it on Wednesday. And we would have been half the time if I was able to talk to you about how great these Champions League games were on Wednesday, because they were fantastic. They were absolutely incredible. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun one. But yeah, nothing other than that to talk about. So with that done, I think it's finally time to revisit our own Italian club. We are back with Pro Vercelli. Right now I'm looking at my club overview because I was checking my finances to make sure that we weren't overspending, which we were. So I'm glad that we looked at it to fix it. But we're in a very interesting position. 12 games into the season, we have 26 points. And we find ourselves top of the league. It's a tenuous grasp. And we really only have it because we have a game in hand over all of the people that are chasing us, specifically Palermo and Empoli. But we found ourselves in a very interesting position here of we are not quite halfway into the season. We're about a third of the way into the season. And we are top of the league. And it has been, there's been some, you can see here from our fixture schedule, there's been some pretty convincing victories, like our 4-1 victory over Lecco that we just had. But it hasn't been all sunshines and roses, as we can look. That was not the screen I wanted to look at. I wanted to click up here. It hasn't been without its challenges. We lost to Bari 4-0 after losing to Bari this was the game we started last stream with. It wasn't good. We still can't beat Reggiana. We lost to Reggiana 4-3. We were only able to draw versus Empoli, which, if we're drawing against Empoli, who just got relegated from the Serie A, honestly, not a bad place to be in. Other big ones is, we beat Cagliari. We drew Palermo, which is another one of the teams that's chasing us. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to try and get through November. Honestly, we might try to get some amount into December to try and get there, because I want to hit a January window sooner rather than later. But we really need to we're in a better position than we were last season. I'll say that much. Financially, we still have money in the bank, which is good. We aren't 12 million in debt like we were at this point in the time last year, which means there's less likelihood that the ownership is going to come in and just gut our entirety of our team, and we won't have to sell everybody, which is good because we actually have what I think is a very, very good team. If we look through our squad right now, we've had a sharp drop off in performance from Nicky Stones as far as just sheer goals scored, because Nicky Stones last year scored, I think, 22 goals in all competition. He scored 19 goals in the league, 1 in the cup, 4 so 24 goals in all competitions, including friendlies. In just league and cup, he scored 20 goals, which is the best goal return we'd had out of anyone ever on our team. But he's much more in line with his first season with us when he joined us in our 26-27 campaign. He's got 3 goals so far and 5 assists, 1 player of the match. But he's still doing very, very well. The great news around that is that we've been getting a lot of goals out of other places. Specifically, Matthias Rasmussen has been very, very good out of the midfield with 5 goals and 2 assists. And Giuseppe Coppola is off to an absolute barnstormer of a season so far for him personally, getting 5 goals and 2 assists in his 8 games. And then honestly, early candidate for signing the season, unknown to us, wonder kid Antonio Arena, the Australian 19-year-old target forward from Roma, has been absolutely incredible for us going forward. He has played 5 games for us. He has scored 4 goals in those 5 games. And it is honestly fantastic. We're not getting as great of things. We are getting some good turnover and turnout from Yanis Mlajau as well. Another just great pickup that we signed in on loan off of FC Metz in the Ligue 1. But actually, they're in Ligue 2 right now, so the second league in France. But he's just been a fantastic addition to our team as a winger out on the right-hand side. Mlajau has been another great pickup. And so, like, we aren't getting the same return out of Nicky Stones that we were expecting after last year, but we are doing really, really well. And it has been a very good turnout, to be sure. But it is very much we hope that we can hold on to this form as opposed to last year, where last year we were top at Christmas, and then we finished in 8th, I think, after the everything was said and done. Just because we sold all of our players and we didn't have enough players to play, and it was just a bad look. And so we fell off pretty heavily in the second half of the season. And we're hoping to not repeat that this year. If we look at our series stages, we have a goal differential of 10. We've scored 26 goals, which is more goals than anyone else in the competition. But we have conceded 16, which is not more than anyone else in the competition, but is significantly more than the people that we are in contention with. Like, it's almost double the amount of goals that Palermo has conceded. It's 6 more than Empoli. And so, like, based off of our numbers, we do look like we should be somewhere more like in this 4th through 7th range as far as, like, performance is. But we have pretty good form going into it. And that's kind of where we stand. Our next match is against Catanzaro, who are currently in 11th on 16 points. And then we're playing against Mantova in 10th, and then Venezia in 18th. And Frosinone, who are in 5th. So, some good games. And we have one of them in like 2 days. Grillo gets a salary hike. Arena gets to get the start. I don't hate that. Arena is very good. Rosito wants us to improve our coaching. Boateng wants us to find a loan move for him. Loan. See what happens. I don't hate the idea of like spending some time to try and get better coaches. I think we should identify who our bad coaches are and then positions to improve them. If we're gonna do that. Okay. Best performing defensive player analysis. They say the best performing attacking defensive player in our league is Frandi Sambo. Is he from Curacao? Are you from Curacao? He is from Curacao. Crazy. Plays at Monza. He's the Monza right back, apparently. Dope. I wish we had a Kurosawa right back. Worst performing defending team is Lecco. We did just beat Lecco 4-0. Kosier and Stanic were team of the month. Love that. Honestly, the huge glow up for Simone Kosier has been fantastic. I am a big fan. That Kosier, who, once again, we signed as a free agent from a Serie D team the first season we got promoted to Serie B, who was just a flat, it was a 0 on our evaluation scale. And now he has earned his way all the way up to being a +2 and maybe our best center back, because like Stanic I think is still a +3, +2, +6, +4, he's still a +3. Bustin, but like the fact that Bustin is now our backup to Simone Kosier is kind of huge. Pino as our right back. Altobelli is out injured still for a while, so we can't bring him. Honestly, let's just have Pino. Pino can be. Oh, he's only a right back. He can't also play left back. So yeah, we have to bring Grillo, so we have a left back on our bench. And midfielders, we've got Vukioi. We've got Mele, and we've got Buruanu. And then we've got Rosito, Johar Semedo, Giuseppe, and Renzi. There we go. Okay, let's hope that this goes better than the last time we started our stream. This is the first game of the stream. We want to, carry momentum from our last stream and our last game into it. We ended on a high note. We want to start on a high note. We don't want to have what we had to happen last week happen again, where we played Bari and lost 4-0. Let's go. I am going to change some things here, though, and we're not going to go into dynamic mode. We're going to just go into key highlights. Because I do want to start making a little bit more progress and go a little bit faster in these. Nicky Stones. Out to Lucas Fries. We'll take a corner. Oh, also, happy Pro Tour weekend to those that celebrate. We have a Pro Tour in Vegas this week. There we go, Luke Netten and Lucas Fries. Okay, but then Luke Netten immediately throwing it away. Tries the ball into Rasmussen, but it doesn't even get anywhere near him. Oh, nice match kick. Arena now. Hold up play from Arena. There we go. Get him again. Find Rasmussen. Okay. We'll end the highlight there. But great survival there. Just that should have been a goal for Catanzaro. And the fact that they did not score there, huge from our defense. So not a ton happening. We have the fact that we have apparently the only shot on target, which means that that shot that was literally on our goal line did not count as a shot on target, which is maybe a little ludicrous. Loretti, Nettin, Nicky Stones, Rasmussen, Stones, Arena, back to Nettin. A little sloppy through the midfield. Oh, Loretti's in behind here now, though. Okay, he tried that. He really did. I would have gone near post with it, but he went far post. Nice, Gianluca. No one there for the outlet. Oh, Arena now. Arena, he's got so many defenders on him, but he does have people crashing towards the middle. Oh, we're just playing it back in over the top to him. He puts it across. Nicky Stones! There you go. There you go. Wild that turned into a goal from that angle, but I'll take a goal for Nicky Stones. We complained about the fact that he's not having quite the goal-scoring career that he did last season, where he had his 20 goals in all competitions. And he seems like he hurt us, because Arena here, beautiful ball in behind from Loretti to find him, and then just bounces off of the goalkeeper out to the onrushing Nicky Stones, who buries it. Perfect. Nicky Stones now to put it in from the corner. Reese was at the back post there. Loretti now putting it back into the mixer. Arena one-on-one with the keeper. Hopefully he was onside. But that is a target forwards goal. That is what you think. When I think target forward and goal, that's it. And importantly, he was onside. We need to... Arena's here, so watch Arena. Oh yeah, he's way onside. Arribo is keeping him on by a lot. Yeah, he's in acres of space. Completely unmarked, back post. Great job from Loretti again to get that over the top and find him. There you go. And that's how you get to a 2-0 victory, a 2-0 lead early into the first half. Yeah, those are the numbers we're more looking for out of the top of the table versus mid-table. Currently, other games are going on for us. Palermo are only drawing to Venezia, which is nice for us. That keeps them behind us. We do still have a game in hand on them, so that's not nice. And then Empoli can only draw with the Inter Milan U23s, which is also a great look for us. Arena now with an assist and a goal and an 8.1 going to halftime. Let's go, boys. I'm happy with what we're doing. I want to see more of it. Okay, first highlight of the second half is a corner. Arena immediately dealing with the issue, though. Oh, nice Vecic. There we go, Vecic. Starts it out to Stanic, up to Mlajao, Arena, back to Mlajao. Nicky Stones now, out to Fries. Fries puts it in, Arena's there! Oh, Antonio Arena! It's the same as his first goal. He was back post, he was first to the ball. This one, at least there was like a defender on him that really should have done better with this. Like the last one, I was like, he could have been offsides. This one, there's no way. Arena, we're watching Arena. He is behind Monte the entire time. Monte is tracking him the entire time. Odenthal here should also get in. And then he just goes back to get towards Zanin. And neither of the center halves follow him. Neither Odenthal or Monte follow him at all. And that's just beautiful. Let's start making some changes. Gianluca for Jose Grelot. Nicky Stones for Muruanu. Luke Netton for Rukio. Let's bring some more fresh legs on. Rasmussen for Vitven, Mojao for Semedo. Cool. That's how you do it. That's how you're. This is what I wanted last stream to be when I was like, oh, we're gonna go play Body. We like absolutely smoked them in the cup. We should be able to do that. And then we were like absolutely dumpstered. This is more of like, this is what we wanted. It's like, cool. We got to come out here. It looks like Empoli are winning their game. And Palermo are winning their game. So both of those teams are catching us. But we are still able to stay just one step ahead. That was a beautiful game, beautiful goals from Arena. A brace from the youngster is huge. Honestly, if we go up, it might be a spend whatever money we have to try and keep Antonio Arena. Because we currently have him in on loan, but we don't have him on a loan to buy option. And it might be a like, hey, we really need this guy. Okay. Perotti is unhappy that we're not playing him. Okay, squad player he's willing to accept. I do want to play him more, and so we should play him more. Piniero's upset with Matyushenko. Matyushenko, you can be upset about. Since like Matyushenko, to be fair to Matyushenko was the first one that we brought in when we're like, hey, we need a backup striker because we only had one striker, and we needed two just for the team sheet. And then we're like, oh, this is like the best of the first round of strikers that we found through our scouting efforts. And so like we'll get this guy because he's pretty good for how much we're paying him, which is essentially nothing. And then we found Antonio Arena and we're like, oh, why are we playing anyone other than Antonio Arena up front? If we're not playing Giuseppe Coppola. Because, like, Antonio Arena is the best striker we found. Okay, Magic, Pino, Stanic for... Del Russo is not available, so we'll keep... Netten for Bukioi, Rasmussen for Renzi, Loretti for Rosito, Arena for Giuseppe, Jordan Bustin, Nicolo Ronchi, Tris, Brad Pincheda, Vitven, Verardo, Broanu, Loretti, Rasmussen for Semedo, Matsushenko, and then Perotti for Pino. Let's try this. Rotating a little bit just because we're playing 2 games in a week. We want to give people some playing time. Our form is fantastic. Our players are in really good form, very good confidence. We're just resting some players. Okay, we are here against Mantova. Well, Mantova's here with us. We are playing at home, which if we're going to be playing at home, let's go a little bit more aggressive, shall we? Oh, that was almost a goal there. That was a great free kick. Vukioi up to Rosito, back to Vukioi. Gianluca, Rosito down the line. Put it in towards the back post. Now Perotti on the other side. Back to Vukioi. Vukioi goes for, oh, hits the post! Rosito, how did you not get there first? Oh, he was offsides, okay. Free kick given. That's why. He wasn't actually trying to run for it because he was offsides. Okay, I forgive you, Rosito. Why are so many people anxious? I agree with the commentator there on how did Bonfanti miss that goal. Because like that was a bad defensive lapse from us that should have been punished, and then they completely missed the goal. Nice, Mulajao. I was like, that's the press that I was looking for from you. Emanuele Rao. Okay. Emanuele Rao still kicking around. He was in on loan for us our first season. He was honestly not that great. And it might be because we played him in a position that he is good at, but wasn't the position he was supposed to be playing, which was... We played him as a striker. He's mainly supposed to be like an AMC shadow striker, which is what it looks like Manitoba is playing him in. Nice Ukioi. There we go, Nicky Stones leading the counter. He's got plenty of help. Rosito out on the wing. One more out to Gianluca, back into Rosito. Gets some separation, gets in. Oh! Alessandro Renzi. Giuseppe, please be onside. Because that was Renzi's first goal. That would have been fantastic, but we're not celebrating yet because Coppola could have been offsides. We need Giuseppe to be onside. Oh, we should also, while we're in here, swip out of just chatting, since we're not in just chatting anymore. Forgot to update the stream. He was onside. There we go! Renzi. Huge goal. Stanic now bringing the ball out of the back. Has Perotti. Perotti into Mlajao. Mlajao up over the top. Rosito on the far side. Puts it into the middle. Oh, come on! Renzi! Renzi! Renzi, I'm not done yelling at you. Jeez. That was a beautiful movement from Mantova that should have been a goal, but he hit that so bad on that final shot. Renzi should have 2 goals. It is almost inexcusable that he missed that second shot. In that he didn't miss it, which is why it's not inexcusable. He just like didn't even take it. But that ball from Rosito cutting across the 6-yard box that he was unmarked and totally in front of and just didn't even attempt to put a finger on it. Come on, Renzi, what are we doing here? Stanic plays it up to Gianluca to Chiara. Back into Renzi. Up to Rosito. Gianluca, back to Rosito. Renzi. Rosito. Renzi. Renzi! Oh, couldn't keep that one down. I was gonna say, like, Renzi's been playing pretty well for the fact that we don't start him a whole bunch. He's doing a lot of really good work. Nice Perotti. Nicky Stones in behind. He's got Giuseppe in the middle. Oh, he's also got Renzi! Renzi! There we go, Alessandro Renzi. This was a game that was just screaming for a second Renzi goal. And I'm glad that he finally got there. That wasn't his best chance to get to that second goal. I think of the 3 chances we've seen him miss, this was honestly one of the worst ones. But Coppola has 3 defenders that he's pulling, which means that there was no one for Renzi. Like, they're all on Giuseppe. Huge. No, that was Nicky Stones to Alessandro Renzi. Let's start with our first things here. Gianluca for Piaceda. Oh, Kosier almost won. Almost got that. That would have been great. Okay, yeah, that one I was like, we needed to stop that cross from going in. If we weren't going to stop that cross, that was guaranteed a goal. Because, like, look at this. We've got Zoya. He's going to find Amani here. Perotti can't get there, but then Kosir is getting beat by Rao, Bortolucci, and Jamal. Like, everyone was in behind. Nikki Stones for Verano. Ukioi for Gerardo. Lajao and Rosito are probably our next subs. Rosito's having a really bad game, which is not good because he's been one of our best players. Oh, Coppola in behind. Giuseppe? Please be on sides, Giuseppe. Because if you are, that's a beautiful goal. If you're not, it's still a beautiful attempt at a goal. Yeah, that one, he looked offsides. Yeah. That's closer than I thought it was. That's much closer than I thought it was. But he is definitely offsides. Okay, Lajao needs to come off for Semedo. Rosito for Loretti. Nice, Cosio. No! No! Wild. That was a weird goal. Just puts it in. We deal with the actual threat, which is like Rao putting this in and Castellazzi. And then they just get it to Justo, and he cracks it from all the way over there, and Magic is just caught off guard. He's caught flat-footed. Come on, Rovercelli. We just need one more. That is not a draw that we wanted. We were up so high, and then, like, the Emmanuel Rao one was like, yeah, we really messed up on that one. The Justo goal was just like, how in the world? Sometimes the game just wants you to lose. Okay, so that sees us lose the top spot. What do they want to... Oh, it's because we have to do here. So now we go down to second. We can still get caught by Palermo, and we can get caught by Empoli. We already got caught by Empoli, and Empoli have a game in hand. Really needed to not lose that game to Mantova. Okay, Stanic is injured, which means Delo Russo needs to start getting into the play a little bit more. Stanic is out for 2 weeks, which means that he'll be back after the international break, which is nice. Luke Netton is getting better. As a DM, are you finally not a negative? Acceleration, you're still -3. Anticipation, -2. Stamina, -3. Jumping reach, +1. Composure, stay at +1. Passing. He's now just Luke Netton. He's a flat DM. Is he better than that as a center back? +2, -1, +2, +1, -2. So he goes to -1 after this. Work rate, back up to 0. Anticipation, up to +1. So he's a +1 center back. So honestly, Luke Netton might be our backup center back. Don't hate that. Why is Hernandez unhappy with Majao's loan spell? We literally play Majao every single game. Is it he's not playing in the right position? They want us to find center attacking midfielders, a position we don't play. Magic is out for a day. They wanted to be an actual winger. That's what. The chairperson is stepping down. Goal 50's out. Let's see. Any of them playing in Italy? No? No. Best player in the world is Bukayo Saka at Arsenal at 27. Okay. Elise is 7th at Munich still. Kulusevski went to Man City. Guimaraes has gone to Paris Saint-Germain. Mo Salah is still at Liverpool. Bruno Fernandes has gone to Arsenal. Harry Kane has gone to Liverpool. Bremer is one of the best in the world, and he's gone to Man City. Tchouaméni is now at Liverpool. Eder Militao has gone to Man City. We already knew that one. Nico Williams went to Chelsea. Lautaro Martinez is still Inter. So this is the first. So the 32nd best player in the world is the first time the Italian league gets in here, and it's Lautaro Martinez. Chanuzun is at Man United. That's nice. Adam Wharton has gone to Spurs. Mamardashvili has gone to Bayern. Kai Havertz has gone to Paris Saint-Germain. So there's literally only one player in the Italian leagues on the entire top 50 best players in the game. And it's Lautaro Martinez, a 31-year-old at Inter. Cool. Love that. Great for us. Arena, Vukioi, and Tahoe, and Del Russo are all going for the international break. Sito is training well. Netin is training well. Del Russo training well. Kosir also training very well. Giuseppe. Grilu, Semedo, Roshin, Tahoe, Ruanu, Canapa, Istan, Fana, Penotti, Perotti, Jessa, Casaza, I want us to play Fries. I'd rather play Del Russo, assuming we can play Del Russo. You're still upset about this. I'm like, I still have the good answer of just like, have you seen the other strikers that I'm playing ahead of him? Very angry. He's very angry, but it's also one of those like, I know you're angry, sir, but also the two strikers that are starting above him are scoring for fun, and he hasn't scored yet at all. How good are you right now, Rosito? So you are flat previous. +4. Stay at +4. +1. -1. He's a +1. Look at you. Nicolo Rosito. +1. Okay. They want Mlajao to play as a winger. Fries, do we have the availability? Why are you ineligible? Why are you always ineligible? We played another game today, David Del Russo. Okay. So then we'll actually probably replace you with Netin. And then you with Vukioi. Cronchi can be our backup. Perotti, Picheda, Verardo, Mele, Ruano. Rosito, Renzi, Hersemedlu for Matyushenko. Okay, let's try this. Venezia, one of the worst teams in the league, so we really want to hope to get this win so we can hang on to a top spot. Like, do we need to win the league? No. If we can finish second, also great. We want to finish out of the playoffs this season, if at all possible. At Venezia, they have no one here. No one showed up for this game. Okay, we are into this Venezia game. 20 minutes in, first highlight. Well, 17 minutes in, first highlight. It is a Venezia highlight, which is not great for us. Especially when it's Gianluca Di Chiara getting absolutely cooked into them scoring a goal. Come on. We need to not be losing to Venezia. They're like one of the worst teams in the league. They have 10 points so far this season. We can't have just absolutely blown Catanzaro out of the water 3-0 and then lose to Venezia 1-0. It's not allowed. I'm not liking what we're seeing from our team here, in that it's going into halftime when we're down 1-0 and we might be down 2-0. There we go, Gianluca. Okay, this is bad. I need something entirely different in this. shows something different in the second half. Since this looks like we are losing this game and we deserve to lose this game, and we don't deserve to lose this game. We are too good of a team to be losing this game. Nice, Mlajao, way to pick that up. Finds Loretti out wide. Luke Netten. Back to Simone Kosier. Loretti. Nicky Stones! Oh, come on. Nicky Stones and Antonio Arena are both on the pitch right now, which both of them could have scored that header. Pino. Loretti now puts it back in. Rasmussen, Loretti. Oh! I was say that was a beautiful missed header into an incredible shot into just truly a magnificent save from their keeper. But Rasmussen now to put it into the back post. Kosier, another great save from Stankovic. Now it's very much a we should be winning this game and are losing. They've had one shot on goal and it was their goal. Gianluca for Pacheco. Mlajao for Semedo. Rasmussen for Renzi. Jeez, we almost just went down 2-0. Arena's going to probably have to come off here too, because Arena's having a really bad game. Nicky Stones, you've got Arena, there you go. Arena has Renzi and Loretti. Loretti has Renzi. Renzi, please have been on sides. Please be on sides, Renzi, please. I need you to be on sides so that we can be back in this game. Yes! There we go. Okay, we're back in this game. Okay, encourage the boys. We can get at least one more. Still not having a great game. Giuseppe, come save us. Drawing Venezia is like losing to Venezia in this game. Disappointed, we should have won that. No one can catch us, so we are very solidly in third, but we'd like to be in first. Or second. As much as possible. Jean Bustin. Squad player. Okay, now we're going to get into the international break. Loretti was in the team of the week. Okay. Kosier, you're playing very well. I want you to know that I acknowledge that you're playing very well, and I hope you continue playing very well. Aquax Rose left his agent. Standish is back. Yara is out for a couple of days. Good to know, good to know. Rasmussen. Train better. Gotta praise the players, otherwise they get mad. You gotta praise the players. The thing is it's really annoying when you praise the players and they also get mad. One thing that we can do right now while we're waiting for the international break is we can look at trying to keep our promise to Rosito of improving our coaching staff. Of like, let's look at our coaching staff and see who's bad and see who's good and see who we can improve upon. Because we can start improving on some coaching staff, that's probably going to be pretty good. So like if we go to club, staff, coaching team, like this David Grimaldi guy is someone that we could definitely improve upon. He's supposed to be a fitness coach, but he's only average at fitness. Our Seppi's coach is also very bad. And this Yusuf Fertu guy is also bad. So we could definitely improve some. We go to here and we edit search. We want to look for a coach. Oh no, we want to look for a fitness coach. Look attributes. Fitness coach. At least very good. Okay, so no one at very good. What if all we care about is your fitness coaching? So 11 people that are just very good at fitness coaching. What about also, well, let's just see how many of them are elite. Okay, so there's no one at elite. Any of them at outstanding. Okay, so we have 11 to narrow down. And these are the 11 very good fitness coaches. Do them have very good fitness coaching and very good authority? 2 of them. Okay. Of the 2 of them, do any of you have very good motivate? And neither of you have very good determination, correct? Okay. So either you have good determination. What about average determination? Vincenzo Manzi? There we go. Perfect. I'd like to sign you. Okay, and then regular coach. How many good attacking coaches do we have? We have 2 very good attacking coaches. We have 2 very good defending coaches. We don't have any good goalkeeping coaches anymore. Our best goalkeeping coach is competent, so we should also get better goalkeeping coach. So let's find a goalkeeping coach. We would like a goalkeeping coach. And same thing here. How many of you are just very good at goalkeeping? 5. So we got 5 to work from, and we got to narrow this down. So how many of you are very good at goalkeeping and have very good determination? 2. And very good authority? And you have very good motivator. Jonathan Gold? Jonathan Gold, you are the Scottish savior to my goalkeeping program. There we go, Jonathan Gold. And then we will get rid of this one here, and then we already took Jonathan Gold, but just to get even better at goalkeeping, I think is never a good thing. There we go. Okay. We're going to try and bring in those coaches, and if we improve our coaching that way, hopefully that hits Rosito's, like, we would like to have better coaching. Sorry, I just got a work email. Sorry. I'm in an ongoing crisis is way too strong of a word. But an ongoing investigation into why my I have a badge, a name badge that I use for work, and it doesn't work and has never worked. And so they're trying to figure out why it doesn't work. And so I had to send an email to a couple of different people about, like, here's my badge number. Can you please investigate why my badge doesn't work? And, like, I heard an idea on it last week. Okay, so Vincenzo Manzi, you're the fitness coach. So we need to find the guy who was the bad fitness coach. And you're going to be replacing him. Which is either Grimaldi or Ciuto. And I think it was Grimaldi. Yeah, so Grimaldi is bad. And Ciuto, it has bad authority, determination, motivating, but is very good at fitness. So we're going to get rid of David Grimaldi. And then Josic is a goalkeeping coach. We're going to get rid of Leonardo Bugin because Leonardo Bugin is just a bad goalkeeping coach. Mario Josic is just a much better goalkeeping coach. Apparently, Fortu's contract was gotten rid of. Which is one of the people that I was going to fire, but it wasn't for Josic's job. That just means that we have to fire someone else for Jonathan Gold. Because Jonathan Gold was who I was going to fire for Tut for. But we still have Leonardo Bugin. There we go. Confirm. We have now incredibly improved our coaching. Our coaching has gotten significantly better. Nicolo, you should be much happier now because we've dramatically improved all of the coaching staff in this international break. Coming up into our Frosinone game. If we look at it now, and look at our staff, our coaching team, we now have the best goalkeeping coach, the best goalkeeping team in the league. We have the 4th best defensive coaching, the 3rd best attacking coaching, the 5th best fitness coaching, 3rd best possession, 4th best technique, 5th best tactical, 5th best set piece, and 3rd best people management. It's like we are upper echelon in every category and best at goalkeeping. Pinheiro, come on, man. We talk about this like once a week. Because you're just like, hey, Metsyushenko, play him more. And I'm like, dude, you looked at how my other strikers are playing? Rosito. Stanic is back, which is nice. Rasmussen is wanted again. Altobelli's almost back. He's back from injury tomorrow, which will be nice. Because then we'll have an actual backup left back. Renzi, Mele, Ruano, Loretti, Johar Semedo, Metsyushenko, and Giuseppe. There we go. Okay, we are thoroughly prepared for the Frosinone game. Okay, Magic here to start off the highlight for us. We love that. Stanic back to Kosir. Find Rasmussen. Arena. Out to Rosito. Rasmussen, there you go. Back to Rosito. Into, there you go, Nicky Stones. That's what you want. That's all I ever want, is we get a penetrating run, we cut it back, we put it in the middle, and then he gets buried in the back of the net. This is everything I ever want and more. Rasmussen gets beautiful run in behind, pulls 2 defenders. Rosito then is open. He pulls his defender. Nicky Stones, his defender's getting pulled by Arena, who's pulling both of the center backs. That should work every time. Why we don't do that every time? Mind-boggling to me, but that should work every time. Frosinone now here from the corner to put it back in. Kosir taking no nonsense, but then really bad at closing down this man so that Kachela is able to pick up the rebound, dribble in unmarked, and then just bury it in the back post. Deeply upset by that. What was that? Here they are with another corner. They scored from the last one. This one we were able to clear. Shikella again. Netted now with a big clearance. Out to Rosito. Rosito to lead the counter. running down the left-hand side of the pitch. Cutting in towards the middle now. Rosito, he's taken it the entire way himself. Did great up until the finish. Rosito, it's that 7 finishing again that is just like, hey, not really what we have you on here to do, but don't love that our third highlight in a row here is another corner. I do like that we're doing better at clearing these every time that we see one. He should be offsides. Yep, he was. Perfect. We have definitely been on the bad side of this Frosinone game so far. But here now, our own corner, Matthias Rasmussen. They scored off a corner, so can we. Oh, inches wide from Nicky Stones there. He came flying in from the midfield. Okay, so we're hoping for another goal in the second half to pull us ahead here. There we go, Chiara. Legiao plays it back into Kosier. Build from the back. Gianluca. We switched the side of the field now. Rosito into Rasmussen. Nicky Stones now making the break in behind. He turns, he shoots. Oh, Nicky Stones! Second goal of the game. We complained at the beginning of the stream of the fact that Nicky Stones just hasn't been in the same goal scoring form as he was last season. 20 goals for us last season in the same position in the midfield. And when we started the stream today, he had 3. He had 5 assists, but he only had 3 goals. And he scored 2 goals in this game. He scored a goal in a different game. He's just absolutely running rampant right now. Okay, let's start looking at some changes. Arena is tired of not playing well. And Legiao is just not playing well. Tactically, though, you want to play inside winger. We only want Legiao to be playing true winger, because if he doesn't play winger, Nets gets mad at us. Gianluca can come off with Pacheco. We are holding on to a good lead here. Nicky Stones now, even with his brace, is going to have to come off and bring on Buruanu. And then let's also take off Stanic, bring on Del Russo. Stanic just still coming back from that injury. Okay, we are coming into the end of a game now, though, that we are winning. Let's just get ourselves across the finish line, shall we? There we go. By the time I was even making the changes, time had run out, and We have walked away with a 2-1 victory over Frosinone here at the Stadio Benito Stripe, PSC Arena. That sees us go back up to the top of the table, which is nice. I don't know how long we will stay up top. Especially with Empoli having 2 games in hand over us. The fact that Palermo are even on games played and we are ahead of them, though, is a great sign. We just need Empoli to lose some games. A thing that we don't really think they're going to do a ton of, but no one else that has games in hand on us can get anywhere close to mathematically catching us with their games in hand, so... And second is something we are okay with. Nicky Stones sends Pro Vercelli top. Love that. They want us to get ball control on Buranu, strength training for Vukioi, and hacking movement for Loretti. I'm fine with all those. Coach assignments. Now that we have new coach assignments, let's readjust our coaching assignments so we can actually have people doing the things they're supposed to be doing and be good at it. Like our goalkeeping is now great. Look at this. 4-star goalkeeping? Love it. Okay. Coming up next, we have Cremonese, who are currently in 18th. To be fair, the last time we played the team in 18th, it was Venezia, and we drew them. So we'd like to get a better result this time. Empoli have played one of their 2 games in hand at this point. Now they've played both of them, and after playing both of their games in hand, they're only 1 point ahead of us. So they are 100% catchable. This is not difficult at all. Rosito, we improved the first team coaching staff, like, considerably. Our first coaching staff got way better. I don't know what else I could do for you, my child, but we have dramatically improved our coaching. Cancia is back from his loan. Masortiam, his return. René Milage, Faisano. A whole bunch of players just came back from loan, which is bad because that means we need to start loaning players back out again because we are spending more money than we have. Or we can sell some players. We've got a great beat going on here. We're chilling, we're playing, we're feeling good. Sonny Kosier is improving. He's getting even better. He is getting even better. Sonny Kosier. How good are you now? Somebody goes here. Jumping reach, we're at +3. Pace, we're at +4. Acceleration, we stay at +4. Work rate, we go down to +1. Anticipation, we go up to +3. So we are getting better. Somebody goes here, +3. And finally, our best center back of club. Okay, Cremonese into Modena are our 2 games next week. We are officially in December. Empoli on the 17th is a big game. This is now a very, very big game of incredible importance. Perotti is upset. He wants more playing time. Okay. So, Cremonese. Altobelli is back, so we're going to play Altobelli. Perotti. Nicky Stones, can you resolve it? No, okay. Perotti. Try to give him some more playing time. He is actually pretty good. Cremonese and Provercelli. The board are hoping for a win, and the supporters are predicting a draw, but that we should probably lose it, which I don't think so. I think we're going to win this. I think we should win this pretty easily, honestly. Okay, so the only thing we gotta do is Pino has to come off for Perotti. Where are you at, Perotti? Show me Perotti. There's Perotti. Arena for Giuseppe. Altobelli only cleared for 45 minutes, so we have Di Chiara on the bench. You got Bustin, you got Fries, Vukioi, Devi Delarusso instead of Fries, Renzi, Sao. Bruano. Arena Rosito. Matsuishenko for Johar Semedo. Where are you? Oh, he's already there. Matsuishenko then for Milivitin. Okay, let's go. Okay. We are against US Cremonese at Cremonese. Good vibes, exactly. So the thing that's angered chat is the fact that we have a player here on loan from Portugal. His name is Matsuishenko, who's like an 18-year-old striker that we brought in to be a backup striker before we found our actual backup striker, Antonio Arena, who's another 19-year-old we brought in on loan. And what's angry is not chat or anything like that. Although we did have one game that we're a little bit angry about where we played Venezia, who are the worst team in the league, and we got a 2-2 draw. But that game was fine. It's the fact that the manager for Matsuishenko now is really mad at us that we're never playing Matsuishenko. But we're not playing Matsuishenko because he's not training as well, and in the games that we do play him, he doesn't score goals. Whereas every time we play Arena or Giuseppe Coppola, they score goals or assist goals or at least involved in goals. And so we're like, hey, comparison-wise, against the 3 striker options that we have, this guy is the worst striker option. Like, it's not close. But other than that, the games are going pretty good. We are 1 point off of first place behind Empoli right now. Going into December. Mlajao is going to put this into Giuseppe. See, look, that's Giuseppe just scores goals. That's what he does. Finds the back of the net, scores a goal. Sheer magic for Provercelli. Netin up to Mlajao. Mlajao crosses it into Giuseppe. So, like, why would we play Matsuishenko when Giuseppe Coppola just keeps scoring goals? Fantastic. That's already a great start for us. 5 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal in the first half we'll take. Altobelli's doing really well, which is good. He's still not broken after a first half. We love to see that. Honestly, a 1 highlight first half is one that I'm okay with. It means that nothing bad happened, and the only thing that they needed to show us was the time that Giuseppe Coppola scored a goal. There we go. Perfect. Address the team. Like where we're going, we can take another gear. Altobelli now, though, does have to come off for Gianluca. Jimla Zhao. Okay, and here's our first highlight of the second half. Loretti to Rasmussen. Mickey Stones. Back to Rasmussen. Oh, Matthias Rasmussen! Oh, Matthias Rasmussen! What an incredible goal from Matthias Rasmussen. Just finds the bottom corner, glances off the ground, bounces right in front of the keeper. Oh, this is beautiful. Matthias Rasmussen to Netin, to Loretti. He just continues this run all the way, and then the crazy back heel from Nicky Stones to find him. Oh, keeper got to it. It just bounced off of it. Let's go, Matthias. Incredible, Matthias Rasmussen. It could be Matthias as well. I don't know. I don't know how a Norwegian would pronounce Matthias Rasmussen. Okay, so now we just need to not bottle this, because this is now starting to get dangerously close to what happened in our Venezia game. In the Venezia game... Oh, Giuseppe Coppola, there you go. Giuseppe Coppola gets a brace. But that game we went ahead 2-0, and then we conceded two goals in the last 20 minutes to draw, which is what we were upset about. Whereas now it's like, okay, finally we got the insurance. We got a third goal. We're not going to lose for that reason anymore. Okay, let's get Rosito out there. And then Luke Netten has played like every minute of every game recently. So let's bring on Bukioi. Okay, and now our next sub, we can bring off Nicky Stones for Buanu. And then we can get into, Mlajau here to bring us another corner. Let's see what it is. We would put in the lame striker. I don't even think Simone Kosio. I don't even think we brought the lame striker. I don't even think the lame striker is on the bench. We don't. We can't. I would bring on the lame striker, but we don't even have him. We didn't even bring him. So we can't play. Just take off Perotti for Renzi. Simone Kosio completing the route. We win 4-0 at this point, scoring off of the corner with a header for Simone Kosio. The fact that the worst player in this game isn't even their goalkeeper who's allowed 4 goals, but is in fact their striker that's on a 5.6 is telling. There we go. About as good a win as you're likely to see. Huge result. That gets us top of the league now. And Empoli, it looks like, didn't win. They lost their game. And so now we are ahead. We are top of the league. And they don't even have games in hand to try and catch us. And we play Empoli next Saturday. Giuseppe Coppola, fantastic. Mlajau, great creative play. So we had 4 players in the team of the week: Kosier, Gianluca De Chiara, and Yanis Mlajau. Okay. You know, you start like every game. We're just preparing for the absolute menace that is going to be the fact that Caselli, they want to take him in on loan. The fact that anyone will take him in on loan, we will accept, because like we have no plans for Filippo Caselli to play for us this year. So anyone coming in for him, like, yeah, give him playing time. Okay, so we've got Modena coming up here at the weekend. They are in 13th coming into this game. Luke Netton's getting even better. I didn't know this was possible. Luke Netton, what could you possibly improve upon? Your first touch and your composure, and you're off the ball. Your pace is also going up, apparently. Luke Netton, be still my heart. Are you finally good at being a DM? -3, -2, -3, +1. Composure, stay at +1. Passing, no, okay. We're still at a 0. You know, you're working on it. You're getting slightly better. You would have gotten better at center back, because center back actually cares about pace, whereas DM does not care about pace. Caselli can go out on loan. That's a good loan. Jordan Bustin. You're not needed because we need you as a backup. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is I need you to be a second option behind Simone Kosier, because the second Simone Kosier gets injured, I have no one else that can play that position other than you. That is what I need from you, Jordan Bustin. You are the backup to our best center back. Because like all of the other good young center backs we have coming through, jeez, he has fractured his leg and is out for 7 months. That's bad. That's our other very good center back. Jeez, Stanic going out is bad for us. Okay, Stanic now. Every time, David Del Russo is apparently playing in all of these games. So, Lucas Fries, Simone Kosier, Jordan Bustin, just so Jordan Bustin gets less mad at me. Pino, Majkic, Altobelli, still only 45 minutes. Netton, Nicky Stones, Matthias Rasmussen, Lajao, Loretti. We'll play Matsuishenko in this one. Kosier. Nicolo Ronchi. And then we've got Gianluca. We've got Benzi. We've got Vukioi. We've got Buruanu. We've got Mele. We've got Semedu. And then you an 11, and then Rosito goes into 9. Okay. Yeah. There goes the season. The thing is like, we do have actively very good backup center backs, but they're only right-sided, and they're like 17. And so like what they have is they're like not as good as Stanic, in that like Stanic is really fast and he can jump really high and he's like not a liability on the ball. All of our backup right-sided center backs are like, here's this freak of nature that's 17 years old, is 6'5", and has 18 jumping reach, like Lucas Fries, who we're playing right now, or David Della Russo. We're like, by the metrics we care about, not that much worse than Stanic. They're just like really min-maxed, and like he will win every header, but if he doesn't win the header, he will get beat behind every time. Which is why you need to play people like Jordan Bustin or Simone Kosier behind them. The other thing that we have is that we have Luc Netten, who's our starting DM, who's actually better as a center back than he is as a DM, and can play that position really, really well. So if push comes to shove, we just play different midfielders, and we have Luc Netten slot into being our starting center back for the rest of the season. The most annoying part of it is that Stanic is our highest paid player at the club, and he's not going to play for us for the next 7 months, which means that we're not going to be able to sell him. And he's a player that we kind of really want to sell, because we don't want to play him, and we don't want to pay him as much as we're paying him to play for us. Okay, so honestly, not that bad of a start. We are getting absolutely dumpstered as far as statistics go. We have 3 shots to their 7. None of our shots have been on target. Matsushenko is doing what we expect him to do, and that is get a 6.3. So, we simply have to be better in front of goal. And we're going to do that by probably subbing up Matsushenko here very soon and putting on a striker that like actually knows how to play striker. We do know that we have to take off Altobelli at some point, though. We just didn't want to do it at halftime because Altobelli is our only person with a good rating so far. Altobelli is on a 7.2. Okay, Matsushenko, you've been so bad. Nicky Stones is also having a really bad game. So is Lajao. But we can bring on Arena. Nicky Stones we can replace with Moroano. Lajao for Semedo. Okay, finally a highlight. This is the first highlight of the game. Rasmussen, Loretti, back to Rasmussen. Loretti's running to give him the cover. Oh, Boroano! Boroano! Oh! They're going to count that as an own goal because it was. But Angelo Boroano finally doing what we needed him to do. Love this. Rasmussen with a beautiful run through the middle to pull the defense. Boroano crushing in. Angelo Boroano scoring his first goal for the club since the first season when we were in CDC, where he scored a whole bunch of goals out of the midfield. And it was very much late arrival in the box, no one on him, and then it took a couple of really nice deflections, but that was a great result. Great goal. Lucas Fries now to start off our next. Up to Semedo. They're just giving him time and space, which seems like a choice. Maybe that's why, because that was a really bad shot. So we do have to take off Altobelli just because Altobelli is coming back from that injury and we need to just kind of nurse him back to health. But that should be that, and then we'll hold on to one more sub in case anyone gets injured. But let's do this now. We can take off Netin for Bukioi, and then we can keep our tempo lower, waste way more time. Just try to kill out this game. If we get a second goal, great, but we don't really need it. We just need to hold on to this one goal, and then we beat Modena. And that's all that matters. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. We did it. We held on. Was it pretty? No. Did we get completely outclassed? 100%. Modena was definitely the better team today. But we stay 1 point ahead of Empoli, who beat Carraresi. We stay 2 points ahead of Palermo, who beat Cremonese today, and that's all that matters. Frosinone can't catch us. Matsuishenko, though, once again, low. One is better than none, agreed. Matsuishenko showing why we don't play Matsuishenko, though, in that he played 60 minutes of that game and got a 6.3. Murat-chan at Fenerbahce. Uncertain future. Okay, we've got Spezia now here in the midweek. We rotated so that we could be in a better spot for the Spezia. Jordan Bustin. Jordan Bustin doesn't like that we have not had him playing, so even playing him that last game, we're going to have to look at then in higher priority in January, selling Jordan Bustin and then replacing him with a different left-footed center back. That is content playing behind Simone Koscielny. Pietro Passador. Josic is weird because this is the guy that we literally just signed who never coached Pietro Passador. But Spezia Calcio is coming in. They have our former goalkeeper, who was our really, really good goalkeeper, Pietro Passador. Rosito, the fact that you're getting this much better at everything is still really great, but also a little concerning. Gianluca, playing very well. Okay, Spezia Calcio. Currently, they find themselves solidly mid-table in 10th. We are racing to the top with Empoli and Palermo. We have literally 2 points separating third and first. And we have 1 point separating first and second. In possession. We want our tempo much higher. Time wasting none. Lucas Fries, David Della Russo is who we'd rather have. Renzi can play there, but I'd rather have Perotti if you're not injured. Where are you, Perotti? Perotti. There's Clemente Perotti. Cossier or Jordan Bustin. Altobelli, Netin, Nicky Stones, Rosias Rasmussen, Lajao, Rosito Arena. Fries, Cossier, Gianluca, Renzi, Verardo, Vukioi, where's Mele or Boruano? Loretti, Semedo, Giuseppe, and then Pino can together. That's fine. Cool. Actually, let's bring Matsuishenko, because then we can sub in. If we're winning by a lot, we can sub in Matsuishenko. If we're not, we can bring in Giuseppe. Plan. Perfect. Keep our run up. Okay, we are playing at Spezia Calcio. It's probably the last Football Manager game of the stream before we swap over and get some dinner and do things like that. Nice Altobelli. Lajao, I'd like to see some hustle. Oh, huge Matchkic. He was offsides anyways, which was nice, but also that was a massive save from our keeper. Bustin finds Altobelli. Up to Rosito, Rasmussen. Nicky Stones, oh, that was a beautiful ball towards Nicky Stones. Just one step behind his defender. See, and that's the problem there, is like, Della Russo, really tall, can definitely win that, but the second he lost that header, there was no way he was ever catching the forward. And that's the problem. That's the problem with David Della Russo. He has to win that header, and if he doesn't win that header, he's absolutely cooked. Nice Matchkic. That was way closer than it should have been either, with how many people we had marking that. Arena out to Perotti, Lajao, Perotti, Lajao. Oof, jeez. David Della Russo once again completely beat Wow! We are getting absolutely humbled by Spezia Calcio. David Del Russo getting cooked is not helping, but it's also like this goal didn't happen because Del Russo got cooked. It got because Nicky Stones. Nicky Stones did everything right there. This is just like the perfect placement. We're getting destroyed by Spezia Calcio here on these 3 shots, 2 shots on target, almost 0 XG, 2 goals. Leão in towards Arena. Santana Rosa. That one wasn't a Del Russo fault. That was Roland Bustin. They play out to Fontana. Watch De Serio here. He's the goal scorer. He just makes the run in behind. Jordan Bustin gets completely beat. Isn't tracking him at all. And Jordan Bustin wonders why we don't play him and we play Simone Kosier instead. It's because Simone Kosier doesn't make those mistakes. But that has gotten us down 3-0 at the beginning of the first half, which is horrific. Address the team. What in the world did I just watch? You're all playing so horribly. Rasmussen here to bring in a corner. Jeez. If this is a De Serio hat trick highlight. Weirdly, almost. Rasmussen, get out of here. Ukioi. Arena, also bad. Giuseppe. Berotti, also bad. Renzi. Altobelli's also now just really tired, so we're gonna have to bring someone on for him. There you go, Vukioi. Leão down the right-hand side. Leão finds Giuseppe. Giuseppe doesn't finish it. Nicky Stones? Just hit that really bad. Altobelli for Gianluca De Chiara. Renzi. Rosito. Gianluca puts it in. Nicky Stones! There we go! Pulling him back, pulling him back. Nicky Stones, it's a shame that you're so tired, because that was the first good offensive move we've made all game. Nicky Stones for Buruano. Okay, so Santa Rosa. So Rosito's still the only person out there that's having a horrible game on his 6.1. I get the feeling that we are going to lose this game, and I don't like the fact that we're ending this on a loss, but we just got absolutely cooked in that first half. Oh, and there you go, yeah, cool. It's like, we had a little bit of a comeback there, and then it looks like it never mattered, because this goal is ridiculous. Like, watch this. Watch this. We go short corner, back in. Pompetti is going to find Talia all the way out here. Barano crashing, Lajao crashing, no one getting there soon enough, giving way too much time and space. That sucked. That was, frankly, horrible play. Got absolutely dumpstered by Spezia. The only thing we have going for us is that Palermo and Empoli played each other, and they drew. So neither of them could catch us. We played horribly. We played so bad. To be fair, we did heavily rotate so we'd have a team that is fit for this Empoli game. But now, because of how bad that went, honestly, I think we have to play this Empoli game today. And then we can end the stream after this Empoli game. Because, like, that was just, ugh, appalling. Apparently, the Juventus U23s beat Carraresi 6-0. Empoli's leading scorer for the year is Chris Lucchesa, the youngster that we scouted like 3 seasons ago and tried to sign, and they signed out from under us. Ventajo is out for a day or two. It's a good thing that we signed the goalkeeper that we signed so that we don't have an injured starting goalkeeper. Who's unhappy? Jean Bustin, Clement Parotti, Matsushenko, and Rasmussen is content, not unhappy. Okay. Bad intake. Don't love that. We want to get good people coming through our youth system, and so when we get bad intakes, that's a bad sign. Arena for Giuseppe. Guaretti for Rosito. Rasmussen, Altobelli, Kosier, Delarusso, Dino, Machkic, Taho, Bustin, Paris. Gianluca Di Chiara. Honestly, Gianluca over Altobelli. Lorenzi. No, Perotti. And then Renzi, Mele, Verardo, Loretti, Semedo, Matsushiko Arena. There we go. Okay, this is our actual last game. It's us versus Empoli. This is number 1 versus number 2. We are tied on points. The only reason we are first in the league is entirely because we have a better goal differential than them. And that is what we have going for us. Go out there, show the world we've got what it takes. This is a statement game, and we need it to be a good statement. We are at home at the Silvio Piola. The last time we played Empoli, it was at Empoli, and we drew this season. So if we can win this, this is a huge statement for how we intend to go on for the rest of this season. We're off to a good start in that we've got 3 shots already in the first half to their 1. I don't like that the first highlight is an Empoli highlight, but we did win it almost immediately, so. Rosito finds Giuseppe. Giuseppe has Nicky Stones and Milajao both running. Come on. Ref, he was totally fine, and then he got absolutely demolished in the box. De La Russo. Jeez, Chris Loqueza just cooked our entire defense. What was that? What was that? We lost it to their left back. And then Chris Loqueza dribbled into this corner, dribbled through the entire box, and then scored. Giuseppe plays into Rosito. Back to Giuseppe. Rasmussen. De La Russo. Milajao. Milajao puts it in. Giuseppe. That's an equalizer. That's how you equalize. There we go. There we go. Giuseppe Coppola. Giannis Milajao. That's how you equalize. We're back in this. Okay, and our free kick, Matthias Rasmussen, he can score from here. We also have some good people for him to aim at. Oh, Rosito, top of the box. Oh! Honestly, I think it's the best shot I've ever seen Rosito take. I don't think that he should take a lot of those shots, but it is the best one of them I've ever seen him take. This guy's offsides for sure. Doesn't matter because Macikic gets there. Kosier. Netin, Rasmussen, Rosito. Giuseppe finds Nicky Stones. Nicky Stones pushing the lines forward. Nicky Stones, oh! Just wide, just wide. Okay. Tied at halftime is fine. We're fine with that. Palermo, we also need you to not get a... Like, if we draw with Empoli, that's also fine. We just need Palermo to also not win against Monza. Monza are only in 11th, so, like, that is asking a lot. But Monza are also at home. Just keep doing what we've been doing. We've been the better team. We can do this. We just need to deal with Chris Loqueza a little bit better than we did, because the only reason they scored was a moment of individual brilliance from Chris Loqueza, who we know is the best player on their team and maybe potentially the best player in the league. Don't love that. Don't love that they immediately got ahead again off of a Chris Lucchesa goal. Okay, Rosito has to come off to bring on Loretti. Rasmussen has been really bad. So we'll bring on Renzi. De La Russo's also been bad, so we're gonna have to probably bring on Fries. Luke Netten and Pietro Passador, not Pietro, and Nicola Pietra. Gerardo here, Nicky Stones for Meli Vitven. Renzi's in behind! Oh! Renzi's so close there. Gianluca now to put this ball in. Come on. Come on. If the foul on their first goal against Mlađao was not a penalty, the foul that Mlađao just committed was also not a penalty. Oh, jeez. This is conspiracy. This is a grand conspiracy. They're not even giving it to Lucchesa to complete his hat trick. That's just rude. Don't know that we're going to get anything more out of this game. This is an unfortunate state of affairs we find ourselves in. We drop all the way down to third now because Palermo's beating Monza and we're losing to Empoli. This is truly the worst of all outcomes. We went to Empoli and drew, and we had Empoli come to us and we lost 3-1. Okay. Well, there's a roller coaster of a stream so far up till this point. I'll admit, chat. Unable to pull it off against Empoli, unable to pull it off against Spezia. We find ourselves starting the stream in first, ending the stream in third. And still within, like, catchable-ness of, like, we could still catch first and second. We're only 2 points behind Palermo, 3 points behind Empoli. But it's going to be a rough go of it on Wednesday as we have Pescara Interreggiana into the Inter Milan U23s. But we have a transfer window to try and find some things, figure some things out, find out how we're going to, get into better spots. And so that's what we're going to work on. But right now, we're going to take a regularly scheduled break as we transition between games, as I go grab some food, cycles of fluids, do all the things that we need to do. And when we're back, it'll be time for Monster Hunter. And we'll end our broadcast week, as we always do, playing some Monster Hunter and just hanging out and vibing with the channel. So I would say don't go anywhere, but feel free to go somewhere. We'll be back here 15, 30 minutes, giving enough time to, cycle some fluids, get some more water, get some dinner, eat some dinner, and hopefully you all do the same. But we'll be back momentarily.